The idea to establish a national Māori teachers community was in order to form support networks which would enable teachers to be able to communicate with one another about pedagogy, about the learning and teaching of te reo Māori in English medium secondary schools and in Māori medium as well.
I think it's really, really important for refilling the kete that teachers have, that is drawn upon continuously to be replenished in a scenario where you're with culturally located learning environment, and an opportunity to be able to use it as a forum to be exposed to new ideas or to new current thinking or to adaptations or processes and programs that people are utilising in their classroom, because a lot of the time that's what's going on is that we're working in isolation, in a silo, on our own, in our own kura.
When I think about e-learning, I think about E standing for enhance instead of electronic. I think about how sometimes it's the tools that engage our kids, and if it's all about securing the future of te reo Māori as a dynamic language of the future, then we need to embrace what the future technologies bring with that. So it's the world of our kids, and te reo Māori, along with the 21st century learning, together they complement a way forward for our reo. Koira te mea nui.
In the 10 years that I've been using it, with teachers, students at university and with whānau, there's no sentence structure or any form of language structure in te reo Māori that you can't learn to teach from using this resource. Ka taia mā tēnei rauimi, te papa whakakōrero. Aho ko tahi te kohinga kāre, pēnei ene, ka taia ngā rerenga mahi katoa, ngā rerenga kōrero, mahi katoa te whāngai atu. Ko te painga atu, ka taia hoki te whakakāhoretanga te whāngai atu.
Reading. Reading is the lost child of the teaching of te reo Māori. We, for a long time, have focused on our listening skills, our speaking, and in the last few years, a lot of focus on writing and teaching writing skills. But bear in mind that we're not teaching kids how to read. Well, nā ōritinga. If we could establish a graduated level of readers and other books in our classrooms, then we could get the ākona reading more regularly in te reo Māori, individually, independently. Okay? Nā rerekētanga, our students already know how to read. We don't have to teach them the skills of reading. They have transferable skills which they can bring from reading English into reading Māori. And our students are teenagers. They actually know themselves whether they understand it or not. They don't need us to tell them that they understand it when they're reading a book. They can monitor that themselves. So, if we can provide the right reading program for our students with the right scaffolding so that they learn the process, then the students can make their own graduated progress through a system.
Tino koropo pūtoku ngā kau, te tīmata tēnei mahi mō ngā Kaiako Māori, i te motu nei, he pairawa.
The 10 selected values form our kaupapa tikanga framework for all that we do. So each year our process is to identify a set of whāinga, each with corresponding targets that are expressions of our 10 kaupapa. We're measuring ourselves against the expression of kaupapa Māori. I want to make that point, is that we see our role as giving expression to kaupapa Māori, not teaching, which happens to be this or that, but we are in the pursuit of giving expression to kaupapa Māori. And I say that because when I was teaching, in the latter years of me teaching, the kind of values idea of having an organisation described in terms of its values started to become quite popular. And so we at Ōtahi College identified some values that were important to the organisation. And they got written on a piece of paper. And that was about the end of it. So, at any moment of any day, and that applies to everybody, any moment of every day, our expectation is whatever we are doing is an expression of one or a combination of these kaupapa. If it's not, then you stop and you reassess. You stop doing that until there's a point where you can say that that is an expression of kaupapa. We like this measuring tool. It's an innovation, and our view is that we are safe to call ourselves Māori so long as we are framing ourselves around our kaupapa. So all we do, our academic performance, our service delivery, our relationships, our research activity, our financial management, everything is measured as an expression of kaupapa.
Kia ora. To me, the power of this hui has been about networking and putting yourself in a cluster. If you aren't here, then you need to make sure you're in a cluster, because I love seeing other Kaiako Māori and coming together and getting over being whakamā about what you know and sharing what you can get the best out of each other.
As a cluster down in Waitaha, we realised that we needed to collaborate more and share rauemi to be able to create some quality teaching and learning programs. The easiest way for us to do that was via the Google Apps platform and using the cloud technology. Two main outcomes came out of that, one being that we've been able to work together and lessen our workload around planning for the teaching and learning programs and the resources. And the other one is around aromatawai. And I think with the way the assessment is moving towards the portfolio style, it really stays true to the rationale behind the portfolio style, which is that the student is able to develop their language throughout the year, and their portfolio is evidence that's collected along the way. And so the student completely owns their Google folder, which is shared with the Kaiako, and is able to work on their waihanga tuhinga and their kōrero throughout the year.
With you guys coming to the conference here, let's take an opportunity to knock out some of the work for next year. That's one of the things. And let's take an opportunity to look at using a planning tool which is interactive and you can collaborate on. So now on these cards, each achievement objective for each level, okay? And also are the language modes for each level.
And what we've done is we've got, you can see our kaupapa, term 1 being the busiest term for us. We've placed 2 of our kaupapa, kei te kura and kei te kāinga, and there is some room for flexibility, certainly with our cluster, where we would swap those around or so on, but we see these 2 particular kaupapa working alongside each other. We've got our achievement objectives up here, which will be the focus of what we're going to be teaching, and underneath here we've got our language modes.
We can change the slide.